You grab your keys, you put on your shoes, and somewhere across the room, your dog starts to fall apart. The panting begins, the pacing starts, and by the time the door clicks shut behind you, they're in full crisis mode, alone, terrified, convinced you are never coming back. You've tried everything, leaving calmly, saying nothing, even sneaking out like a ghost, but nothing works. Here's the thing, you are not dealing with a bad dog. You're dealing with a brain that's genuinely wired for panic. And once you understand why, fixing it becomes a whole lot clearer. If you've ever come home to a destroyed couch, a soaked doormat, or neighbors quietly giving you the look, you already know what separation anxiety costs. Not just in chewed furniture or noise complaints, but in guilt. That heavy, dragging guilt of leaving the house every single morning knowing your dog is suffering. And the worst part? Most of the advice out there completely misses the point. Ignore them and they'll get over it. They're just being dramatic. It's attention-seeking behavior. None of that is true. And following that advice doesn't just fail, it can actually make things worse. So if you are exhausted, if you've tried the treats and the toys and the calming music and nothing has stuck, you are in exactly the right place. Because in this video, we are going to break down what's actually happening inside your dog's brain when you leave, why the standard advice so often backfires, and then walk through a real, day-by-day plan you can start this week. No gimmicks, no magic crates, just a clear framework rooted in how dogs actually learn. By the end, you'll understand this problem differently, and that shift in understanding is where real progress begins. Let us get into it. Let us start at the beginning. Because if you do not understand the problem, no amount of training tricks will actually solve it. When your dog watches you leave, their brain doesn't process it the way a human brain would. There's no internal voice saying, "They always come back, I'll be fine." The part of the brain responsible for rational thought, the prefrontal cortex, isn't doing the heavy lifting here. Instead, it is the amygdala firing on all cylinders. The amygdala is the brain's alarm system, and in a dog with separation anxiety, it is essentially stuck in a loop. The moment you walk out that door, the alarm goes off, and it doesn't stop until you return. This is why your dog isn't being manipulative. They're not throwing a tantrum to punish you. They are genuinely, physiologically distressed. Their cortisol spikes. Their heart rate climbs. Their body is in a stress response as real as a human panic attack. Understanding that changes everything, because it means the solution isn't discipline. It's desensitization and emotional regulation, built slowly and consistently over time. Now, there's a spectrum here, and it is important to be honest about where your dog falls. Mild anxiety looks like whining for a few minutes and then settling. Moderate anxiety looks like persistent barking, pacing, or not eating while you are gone. Severe anxiety, destruction, self-injury, elimination indoors, even in a house-trained dog, that level may need veterinary support alongside training. There's no shame in that, just honesty. For most dogs, though, the 7-day framework you are about to learn can create meaningful, visible change. Let us walk through it. Short start, here's something most people get completely wrong about separation anxiety. They think the panic starts when they leave. It doesn't. It starts when you put on your shoes, or pick up your keys, or glance at your bag. Your dog has memorized your pre-departure routine down to the smallest detail. So by the time you actually walk out the door, they've already been in a stress response for 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. That's why the fix has to start before you ever reach for the door handle. You have to break the pattern of those signals first, before you address the leaving itself. Short end day 1, decouple the departure cues. This is where you start, not with leaving, but with the signals that predict leaving. Pick up your keys and then sit on the couch and watch TV. Put on your shoes and then make a cup of coffee. Open the front door, stand there for 3 seconds, close it, and go back to the kitchen. Do this dozens of times throughout the day. The goal is to make these cues meaningless. When your dog stops reacting to the shoes going on, you've made your first real breakthrough. It sounds almost too simple, but it is foundational, because you cannot train a calmer goodbye if the panic is already peaking before you reach the door. Day 2. Practice micro-separations. This is about teaching your dog that being alone is survivable in tiny, manageable doses. Step outside, count to 5, come back in. No drama on either end, no big emotional hellos or guilty goodbyes. Just calm, neutral reentries. Over the course of the day, stretch it to 10 seconds, then 30, then a minute. You're not trying to simulate a full workday on day 2. You're showing the nervous system, slowly, repeatedly, that the alarm doesn't need to fire. Each successful micro-separation is a small deposit into the account of I am safe alone. Day 3. Build a pre-departure ritual, but a calm one. Not the chaotic, apologetic, drawn-out goodbye that feels good for you but spikes anxiety in them. A calm, consistent sequence. Something like, put your bag by the door, give them a specific chew or food puzzle, and leave without fanfare. Same order, same items, every single time. The ritual isn't about distraction, although a good chew can help. It's about predictability. Dogs with anxiety are constantly scanning for signals about what comes next. A consistent, calm ritual tells their nervous system, I know this pattern, it's okay. Predictability is the antidote to anxiety. Day 4, introduce a safe space and do it properly. A crate can be genuinely helpful here, but only if your dog already has a positive association with it. Forcing a panicking dog into a confined space doesn't create safety. It creates a new problem. If your dog isn't already comfortable in a crate, do not introduce confinement mid-training. Instead, look at where they naturally gravitate when they are relaxed. A corner, a specific dog bed, a spot by the window. That's their safe space. Make it even more appealing. A piece of clothing that smells like you, unwashed, carrying your scent, can genuinely help here. Research has shown that familiar human scent reduces cortisol in dogs. Not a cure, but a real, measurable comfort. Day 5. Start extending absences, but track the threshold. This is where people most often go wrong. They have a few good days and then jump straight to leaving for 4 hours, and the dog falls apart, and they feel like they are back to square one. You're not, but you have to respect the threshold. Every dog has a point at which they cross from calm into panic, and your job this week is to stay just below that line, repeatedly, before you push past it. If your dog is okay for 5 minutes but starts spiraling at 7, practice 5-minute absences, over and over. Then stretch to 6, then 7. Let the nervous system habituate at each level before moving forward. Slow is fast here. The trainers who have seen the biggest results will all tell you the same thing. Patience at this stage saves weeks of backtracking later. Short start, here's a rule that changes everything. Never return when your dog is in a state of panic. I know, it feels cruel to wait. But if you walk back through the door while they are barking or howling, you've just taught their brain that panicking is what brings you back. Instead, and this requires some planning, set up a camera, watch remotely, and time your return to a moment when they've had even a brief pause in the distress. Even 10 seconds of quiet before you come back teaches a completely different lesson. Calm is what brings them home. That one shift alone can accelerate progress dramatically. Short end day 6. Layer in independence training during normal life. Separation anxiety isn't only about what happens when you leave the house. It's also about what happens when you are home. A dog who follows you from room to room, who cannot settle unless they are physically touching you, is a dog who's practicing anxiety all day, every single day. So on day 6, you start building independence inside the house. Baby gates or simply closing doors to encourage your dog to relax in a different room while you are home. Reward calm settling, not neediness. When they lie down without leaning on you, that earns quiet acknowledgement. When they follow you anxiously to the bathroom, that doesn't. You're not being cold. You're teaching them that they can exist comfortably at a distance from you. That skill is everything. Day 7, a full dress rehearsal with support. On day 7, you put it all together. The calm pre-departure ritual, the safe space, A food puzzle or a long-lasting chew to anchor them in a positive sensory experience. A departure that's neutral, not emotional. And an absence that's long enough to feel real but short enough that you are confident they can handle it. Then you come back, calmly, no big celebration at the door, just home, normal, safe. If you've worked the steps throughout the week, that return should look very different from where you started. Maybe they are waiting by the door but not shaking. Maybe they ate some of their puzzle while you were gone. Maybe a neighbor didn't hear a sound. Those are wins, real ones. Now, a few things that will quietly undermine all of this if you are not careful. First, inconsistency. One family member who does big emotional goodbyes will reset progress faster than you'd believe. Everyone in the household has to be on the same page, same ritual, same calm energy, same approach. Second, over-reassurance during distress. When your dog is anxious and you comfort them heavily, long cuddles, baby talk, picking them up, you are not being kind. You're reinforcing the anxious state. It feels wrong to say that, but it is true. Comfort during calm behavior, neutral response to anxious behavior. That's the pattern. Third, missing the veterinary piece when it matters. If your dog's anxiety is severe, if they are injuring themselves, or completely unable to function even with consistent training, please talk to a vet. There are medications that can lower the baseline anxiety level enough for training to actually reach them. These aren't a life sentence. For many dogs, they are a bridge, a way to get the nervous system calm enough that the learning can actually stick. And here's the bigger picture that I want you to hold onto through all of this. The goal isn't just a dog who doesn't destroy the kitchen when you leave. The goal is a dog who has learned, at a cellular level, that the world is safe, that you come back. That being alone isn't a catastrophe. When you build that, really build it, you change the quality of your dog's entire life. Not just the hours when you are gone, every hour. Because a dog who isn't bracing for the next separation has room for everything else. For joy, for play, for the kind of easy, relaxed presence that makes the relationship actually feel good. If this gave you a new way to see what your dog is going through, the best thing you can do right now is start today, not tomorrow, not after the weekend. Just pick up your keys and put them back down. Do it 5 times. That's day 1. And if you know someone whose dog is struggling with this, share this video with them. Because sometimes just understanding why this happens is the thing that finally makes the difference. There's another video right here on building your dog's confidence from the ground up. And if separation anxiety is in the picture, that one connects directly to this. Go watch it next. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, scan the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe and join the Pawsome Life family. Give your dog a belly rub for us, and we will see you in the next video.